Freaks of the night coming out for your bloodline. Freaks of the night coming out for your bloodline. Freaks of the night coming out for your bloodline. Freaks of the night coming out for your bloodline. Freaks of the night coming out for your bloodline. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Shay. I make videos about horror movies, horror TV shows, horror games, and theme parks because I live in Central Florida and I feel like it would be a crime not to. And if you're not new here, welcome back. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. Normally, I don't talk about true crime stuff, but this documentary, and I'm sure you've heard of it by now, was a little bit too crazy to not discuss because it just definitely seemed unreal. And in order to properly do this video, I decided I was going to bring my co-host back. So let me welcome him to the stage.
Hello.
Hello.
I
So
know
as you guys can see from
names. I'm
yeah,
trying to come up with a name every time I do a video now.
Cat Fisherman. No, that's funny. No, as you can see, we're talking about the unknown number, the high school catfish. I've tried to stay away from doing true crime videos, like especially any of the ones that I normally watch because they usually involve victims that are no longer here to speak for themselves, and I feel very odd about talking about that, like it's entertainment. But this one, I mean, it's different because no one was harmed, thankfully, like physically harmed, but definitely mentally harmed. And it's just kind of hard not to talk about this one because it's so bizarre beyond belief. There are going to be spoilers, so if you haven't seen it yet, it is on Netflix. I would advise you to check it out. It's about like an hour and 45 minutes, I think, of a documentary. It goes by pretty quickly. Um, yeah, if you haven't seen this documentary yet and you don't want to be spoiled, I would definitely watch that first. But because we got to talk about what happens in order to talk about the documentary. So yeah, let's get into it real quick. Hold on a second. I'm just trying to empty that. Okay. Yeah, so this documentary is crazy.
Yes, it is.
It is beyond belief.
It's
Um
nuts.
just like for a quick synopsis, basically it's about this group of kids, especially the main girl Lauren, who start receiving very, very inappropriate text messages from an unknown number. This goes on for like a couple of years, and then it's finally revealed when the FBI gets involved that it's Lauren's mom that's sending them the text messages.
Like you
These are
can't help but laugh at it. It's it's
it's
it's it's nuts. I mean, I feel bad for
I
Lauren.
I feel terrible for her, but it's like, what on earth? And there's so many theories going around as to why Kendra, that's the mom's name, why she was doing this. I kind of want to hear what your theory might be on why you think she might be doing this. Just because, like I said, there's a lot of different theories. Some people think that it was she wanted her boyfriend. Some people think that it was her trying to create like situations where her daughter was in despair so she could like be the hero. But I just kind of wanted to hear what your thoughts were on this one.
I Yeah, I mean the low hanging fruit is she was interested in Owen.
Mhm, Owen. Mhm.
I don't know if that's the case, and let's put this out there first and foremost. Neither one of us are experts at any of
No,
this.
no.
This is just for entertainment and speculation,
Yeah.
and I mean it's kind of hard to call this entertainment when this poor girl's
Mhm.
not just her, but everybody in that school,
Everybody in that
not just the
school
school, but that town. The town's so small. The whole town was affected by
by this
this
one woman's actions.
what was her name again?
Kendra.
Kendra, sorry. So I don't think it was so much that she wanted to create drama to come in and save the day. I don't
Mhm,
think that she's interested in Owen.
mhm,
There's a mental issue here that not many people. No, I haven't heard anybody talk about it. I haven't really watched other people's reactions to this
mhm.
or review, but there's a mental issue, and you can see it when the stuff that I mean, she couldn't hold a job. She lost, she ruined her her marriage. They kept
Mhm.
losing homes because they had to keep moving because she wasn't working.
Mhm.
She put the family in the back. I think that there's a depression here, the depression
Mhm.
issue. There's a deeper issue than just oh, she wanted to start drama. Oh, she had a thing for this
Mhm.
young kid. No, I don't.
Mhm.
Maybe. I mean, again, I'm not an expert, but I think there's
Yeah.
a deeper issue here with Kendra that for her to do that to her daughter, it's not even like she did this to somebody else's kid. This is her own
Mhm.
daughter.
Her
She's
own,
playing
yeah.
both sides. She could have she nearly, not that her daughter was gonna do anything, because Lauren seems to be a strong girl,
Yeah.
with everything she's gone through. But she could have drove her to
Mhm.
end herself. Like
Yeah.
that's where she was pushing this girl, her
That's how
daughter.
bad it was. Yeah.
Her own daughter. I think that's the problem that I have with this, is that you were
Mhm.
saying these things that you were like, and then you're turning around and you're, oh, it's okay, because at any time she could have switched this. She could have ended this by
Mhm.
getting rid of the phone, get
Mhm.
changing the phone number. What
Yep.
they could have did that. And if it
Mhm.
happened again, because the reason why it wasn't it wasn't that they wanted to keep kind of tabs. I think that's
Mhm.
how they described it, tabs on the person who was sending the text messages.
Right.
I think if they would have changed the number, it would have outed her faster.
Yeah. It would have gotten her a lot
You know what I'm
faster.
saying? Because
They would have figured that out.
right, because only a small group of people would have ended up with that number,
Mhm.
and it would have definitely had to be one of those people.
Yeah, it would have
So
narrowed the pool.
I just think that she's not was I think she is still suffering from something a lot deeper than just
Mhm.
being lustful or being
Yeah.
dramatic. There's something wrong, and hopefully she's seeing somebody to help with this, because they don't give you any. I don't think they give you like an
Mhm.
update of anything.
No. No, they don't really give you an update beyond that. Um, I see the main running theory that I've been seeing from a lot of, especially like female creators, which I do believe plays a part into this. Like I completely agree with what you're saying, is that like there's definitely something deeper there. Like there's definitely some mental issue. But a lot of people are saying she was jealous of her daughter, not because she was with Owen, but because her daughter represented all the things she wanted to be. And she
Yeah.
couldn't, she was never those things. Somebody said that because what her cousin said, that that Kendra was probably a mean girl in high school, and she was popular, but she probably wasn't well like her daughter was liked.
Mhm.
But she was popular, but she wasn't like, somebody that was revered. So maybe it was a way to cut her daughter down. A lot that happens with a lot of moms and daughters. They have a daughter and suddenly they're in competition with her.
Oh, it
And like,
happens with fathers and sons too.
yeah, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's like, they're suddenly in competition with her.
Mhm.
And I think that's definitely, I think that more so than the stuff with Owen. I think everybody, this is my big issue, and this is kind of why I wanted to talk about it. I think everybody focuses on the sexual stuff in this documentary, and there's a lot darker things that happen. And I get it. The sexual stuff going to 13, 14-year olds is absolutely
Yeah.
unacceptable, should not be happening, especially when the kids are like, we don't even talk like this, whatever the case might be. And especially, a grown woman sending those. But people keep forgetting that she sent texts not only to Lauren, but to Owen, saying that she was going to kill Lauren.
I know.
And that, to me, like, no one's talking about that. Everyone's just talking about the sexual, like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Owen likes this, Owen likes that, he's gonna leave you. Because yeah, that is gross. And it makes your mind go immediately to the whole, oh, she's into kids like
Yeah,
that. But
that's the low hanging fruit. But
like I think this situation, if it hadn't have been caught, it would have ended up a lot worse. And I don't think it would have ended up the way people were thinking, where she would have done something to Owen. I think she would have harmed Lauren. That's what I think.
man, I mean, thank God
Mhm.
we don't have to find out about that
No, no, exactly.
because yeah, who knows? She
Yeah.
definitely has something up, and I'm just hoping that they have her seeing somebody, like that
Mhm,
that was part of when the sentencing
mhm.
and all that stuff, that she had to get some kind of
Yeah.
psychiatric help just to,
Mhm,
I mean, a lot of it is we could also be looking too deep into this. It could have just been boredom, man. I mean, they're in a
Yeah.
small town with like nothing there and nothing to do, and
Hmm.
she's probably upset in her position in life. Although she seemed like she's a very bright woman,
Hmm.
the types of jobs that she was up for and the ability to do what she was doing and to really baffle people for a while that you had to literally get the FBI
Hmm.
in, and they had to
Hmm.
dig deep into getting in
They had to
the
dig really deep
right.
into that.
So she was good at what she did. But man, I don't know. Like you feel for like I'm surprised that they just didn't move out of the town afterwards. Like, cause they're still there. They're still there, right? Like,
Hmm. I think Lauren's gone now because she's 18.
okay, all right.
I think she went.
They're
She's going
probably
because
getting
I think they
college
did
or
something at
something.
the end of the documentary. They had like a
Yeah,
one of those things, and they said she was going to college for criminal
that's right.
justice or
That's right.
something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, go for it,
Get out
girl.
of
You
that
know,
town. I mean,
yeah.
your mom, and I love small towns, but your mom ruined that town for you, man. You can't go back
Yeah,
to your
I
whole
mean,
family.
the fact that like her some of her friends weren't even talking to her after this, and I'm like, yeah, because they're probably traumatized because of the stuff that
Right.
they received,
Yeah.
and then it sucks that they're taking it out on you, but like it might even just be like, look, I just don't want to be close to you because I don't want to be close to that situation, you
Yeah,
know.
it sucks. That sucks, but that also like that's where you find out who your friends are
Mhm,
because you say friends, but it's like if you're a true friend, if you're down like that, then you
mhm,
will be there no matter what. You'll be like, oh, your problems are my problems, right? And then you see
mhm.
it what it is. It's convenience, And then you know
Yeah.
how we talk about this stuff all the time, like
Mhm,
how people are, you people are kind of opportunistic and
mhm,
they're never going to be there when you really need them and it sucks for her, but at least she
mhm,
found out at an early age and she can move on and there's nothing tying her back to that town
mhm.
if she doesn't want to
Yeah.
go back. um you know I don't know what her relationship with Owen is. I know he kind of moved on, right? They said that they passed each other
They're
in the
not
hall
friends.
and they
Yeah, they
weren't
said
friends.
they're not
It's
friends anymore.
stupid. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous, especially from at an early age they were so close that you
Mhm,
would not know. You would stick with that. I'm not saying
mhm.
you have to date her anymore, but
It could
my
have been some
God, you talk
in
about
in
support.
in his case, it could have been something that was imposed on by his mom because his mom or
Probably.
his dad, because the stuff that was being sent to him, they're probably like, we don't want you around that girl anymore. Like, we don't want you
Yeah,
around her
I
anymore.
mean, again, it's I guess I look at things a little like there's a loyalty thing here that I
Hmm.
feel like especially this is my own trauma in my own life, where it's like people when you're down and out, people just turn their backs on you, and
Hmm.
that's when you know who your friends are, and it shouldn't even matter, even with the parents, um, if to say we're pushing him away from her.
Hmm.
Nah, he should have been like, okay, yeah, sure. She's my friend. Like, I'm gonna be here to support her no matter what. Like, we don't have to hang out
Yeah.
all the time. We don't have to talk. We don't have to date. But I'm here for her if she needs me. That's a true friend, and
Hmm.
it goes for all of them. But that's why I'm saying like it's good for her because now she could go and she could start. She starts new and gets out of that town.
Yeah.
She
I think
have to be
I I
around
think her dad is still there, but that's different. They gotta support each other, and who knows, he might leave at some point too.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's such a strange thing to do. Like, I mean, I feel like I've heard so many crazy stories, and it's one of those things where you're like, people can't get any crazier. They can't do anything crazier. And then you hear about like some mom texting her child death threats and telling her child to like, exit life and talking sexual
Mhm.
to the local teens. Like, I'm like, and it's like I hate to laugh because it's like, yeah, it sucks, but it's like such a bad thing, but it's also like it's more of a laugh of disbelief.
Mhm.
Like, what the heck are you like? Why? What goes through your head to make you do something like that? And it's a good thing because like with me, like I know for me with my fascination with true crime, it's never about obsessing over the criminal. It's more about what drives somebody to do what they do. And in the last few years, I've gotten more and more into more like scam crimes and stuff like that, things like that, because people think true crime is all just like serial killers and, things like that. And it's like, no, there's a lot of other true crime stuff. I like to watch stuff about, in my opinion, like I watched that Biggest Loser documentary. That's a true crime story in and of itself, right
Yeah, yeah,
there.
that's
That's
pretty
a
rough.
true crime story, and it's like stuff like that. I like to watch stuff like that because, in a weird way, it's like it's beyond someone taking someone's life, because you're just the stuff that you're doing. You're like, what is driving you to do that? And it's like how that's how I felt about this documentary. I'm like, what drives you to get up in the morning and make multiple text accounts and start sending text after text after text. um you know then when they block the number, you download another app and create another set of text message, like text numbers, and start sending them more texts. It's just, and then to get as many kids as she did in on it, she wasn't just texting Owen and Lauren. She even started texting the girl's mom that, he was talking to from a different city.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and you would think that at some point she would have just stopped because like
Mhm.
they, it's like they weren't they were no closer to figuring you out, and then it's like, wait, okay, now it's getting real. The FBI is involved. They're going to figure it out at some point.
Mhm.
Why did you keep going? Why did you
Yeah.
keep doing this? Like you really thought you was gonna. I mean, that's why I say it's got to be a deeper issue. It's
Mhm.
like maybe it's not the best comparison, but it's almost like binge eating, right? Like you're
Mhm.
not you shouldn't keep eating that food, but
Mhm.
you can't stop it. You're not even hungry anymore. You just keep
And
going.
yep, in a weird way, I think too. In a weird way, I think too, for her, it could have potentially been that she was sort of getting to that point where, like they say with a lot of criminals, they get to that point where they almost hope to get caught.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it could have been that she was getting to that point because she probably knew she couldn't stop herself,
right.
and she knew it would take that
Yeah,
to
I think there was also like a just creating a new identity, and you're being
Mhm,
somebody else, and
mhm,
again, that's why I say it's so deep. Like whatever it is that she's going through is deep
mhm,
because it was almost like creating a new life for you, and
mhm.
this other person that you are is a jerk.
Yeah,
Is a horrible person, and
getting to
you
say the things that you probably want to
right,
say, but you don't
yeah,
feel comfortable
right.
saying.
I mean, it's funny because watching it, like about early on throughout the documentary,
Mhm,
I was like, no, it's gotta be an adult. Like I'm like,
mhm,
it's not a kid. Like but how they swerved, how they got me anyway to not realize that it was the mom. It wasn't until like close to the end, I was like, oh wait. It was the fact that they had everybody talking on the documentary, including the mom.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
early on, so I'm like, oh, it can't be these people. They're gonna introduce the person who's doing it later, if at all,
mhm,
right? Like it's not
yeah,
any of these people because they're talking to like, she's and we went this and we did that and we did this, and I'm just
mhm.
like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden it comes out to me. I'm like, I would love to see how those interviews were structured to
Yeah,
like, okay, like take us back to how this all started because she's
yeah,
telling you two sides of the story during
mhm.
this documentary, but obviously they know it's her.
Yeah,
So she's telling
yeah,
you
'cause,
like she's not
I
the
read
person.
yep, I read the article, that I read an article from Netflix about how they got her involved, and the director said that it was actually really hard to get her involved, like, she was very resistant, and I'm like, "I can imagine," but then she eventually decided she wanted to do it because she wanted to tell the story from her point of view, and I don't think she did that personally. I don't think she did that because she just was all over the place. Once the shoe dropped, she was like all over the place with
Yeah,
her explanation, and which is why I'm like, I think it's so easy, like you said, for people to automatically go, "Oh, it's because she wanted Owen." That's what I've seen a lot of videos, like, "Oh, it was always about Owen. It was never about Lauren." I'm like, I think you guys are a little bit, a little. You're so you're so caught up in the not, I don't want to say fantasy, but you're so caught up in the fear of an adult woman preying on a young child. And I get it because it happens, but you have to look at that. You have to put the sexual text aside and look at the stuff she was saying to her daughter and about her daughter to other people.
Mhm.
This was not, in my opinion, it was not about Owen. It was about Lauren. It was about Lauren, and there was something, it was probably, like you said, mixture of depression, and there was probably jealousy.
Mhm.
It was probably, and again, and like I said, I'm not an expert. I've watched a few experts talk about this, and a
Mhm.
lot of them seem to be leaning more towards the fact that she had, some sort of narcissistic tendencies, and she was a very jealous person. But then you see people like us, and they're like, "Oh, she just wanted Owen," and I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
"No, no," because
This
why would
season.
she be texting her daughter, telling her daughter to watch her back? And then also texting Owen and saying like, "Oh, we gotta get her, we gotta kill her," and all that stuff. Like,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, I know people are like this out there.
mhm,
But Owen, Owen's a baby. Like
mhm.
when they were showing the pictures of them, like, what are they in, like, grade school? Like, they look like
Yeah.
little
When they said that they were dating at that time in those photos, I was like, "Oh, so what do you mean you were like holding hands,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
with your
yeah,
parents
yeah.
walking
That's
behind
what
you?"
they hang out with the most. That's what you call dating back then.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly. I was
nothing
just like,
going
yeah,
on.
no, because they looked like they were 5.
Yeah, like, what are you
They were
talking
5.
about? Freaking
But
but, my thing is, and I don't know how you feel about this. Do you believe that she's the one that was doing it from the beginning? Because they try to say that she wasn't the one doing it from the beginning.
oh yeah, no, I
Yeah,
believe she was the one that was
yeah.
doing it from the beginning.
Me too, me too.
I believe that she tried to spin it because she wanted to take the blame off of herself, but I believe it was always her. It was just her.
Yeah.
Um, and I believe it started because she probably saw the way her daughter was treated. She saw the type of people that her daughter attracted into her life,
Mhm.
and she saw that her daughter was well liked, and she was like, wow, I wish I had that. I wish I had a taste of that. And then, she just decides, oh, let's just start bullying my daughter.
She
And
tried to make it seem like she was protecting her. Like,
mhm,
how
yeah,
are
no,
you
she was not
protecting
protecting
her? How
her.
are you protecting
You
her?
know,
This is not protection.
Mhm,
And I don't want to be judgmental, man, because again,
mhm.
I'm just a
Yeah, and
idiot
people,
watching a documentary.
and to be quite honest, people do weird things in the names of like protecting people they love. But
True,
this was
yeah.
not.
This
But
is
this was not protection, in my opinion. This was
oh,
purely, I just feel a certain type of way. And I think a lot of people say, well, now I will say this, I think a lot of people say what they say about the whole thing with Owen because of the fact that she found that woman's number and texted that woman from the different city to tell the daughter to stay away. um and it could have been in a sense that it was about Owen because at that point she was so far into her delusion, she thought she owned him.
yeah.
She thought she
She
owned him.
well, she created this world. She created this
That's what I'm
life.
saying. She was
So
so
yeah.
far. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think it had anything to do with that she genuinely wanted Owen. I think it was that point she was so far into this delusion that her character that she was
Yeah.
playing, her
Yeah.
character
Mhm.
wanted to be with Owen. So I'm gonna scale it back. And it also could have been again, people that are uneducated that don't know, and they're not criminals. It also could have been a way she was trying to throw people off the scent. Oh, if I text this random woman, then they're going to be like, oh, it's got to be one of the kids. It's got to be one of the
Right,
kids,
right,
you
right.
know, because who else would do that, it's got to be somebody that wants to go out with Owen,
I
again,
think to me, I think that really made it seem like it was somebody that you wouldn't expect, like an
mhm,
adult. When
yeah,
that happened, I was like, "Oh," with the picture from the holidays, when the picture like
mhm.
inside the house, I'm like, "Oh, okay, you're just giving this away,"
It's a family
like
member or
seriously,
something.
like but I would like to know like from that first initial like contact when they first started doing this during that Halloween party before the Halloween party, and then you
Mhm.
had that long break. I wonder what her status was. Kendra's status was like. Was she employed? Was she unemployed
She
during
might have been.
during that time? Because I know, like, I'm wondering if she was employed in between the break
Mhm.
because she didn't have the ability to.
Didn't
text.
have the
You
yeah,
know what
didn't
I'm
have the
saying? Like,
time.
we're right, and then maybe one of the reasons why she lost the job, or I or whatever it was, that she started up again, and it consumed her life, and
Mhm.
she wasn't doing her job correctly. And then she couldn't hold down the job after that, and this became her obsession, because obviously
Yeah.
that's what it was. And this filled her day, because she's at home, supposed to be at work, and her
Mhm.
daughter and everybody, all these kids are at school, and they're getting text messages, and no matter what, like the principal checking the cameras, and you don't see anybody doing. You don't know it's got to be coming from somebody outside the school.
Mhm.
And again, another reason why, like, all everything pointed to Kendra. But
Mhm.
yeah, man, it's an
I
unfortunate thing.
I will say this, like, I was spoiled as to who it was before I watched the documentary because I was on YouTube and I saw the picture of her mugshot, so I knew it was her
Mhm.
going into the documentary. But I feel like if I hadn't known that going in blind, I feel like I would have thought it was either her or I would have thought it was Owen's mom. Because
I thought it
sometimes
was
moms,
Owen's mom at one point.
yeah, because sometimes moms are weird like that with their
Yeah,
sons. So
yeah, I thought it was Owen's mom at
I
one
thought
point.
it was Owen's mom for like a while, and I was, I actually know I knew it was Kendra, but I was watching it and I was like, this easily could have been
Mhm.
his mom. This
Yeah,
easily could have been his mom because especially the fact that she is like pushing Lauren away, that could have been her way of like being like, oh, you're not good enough for my son.
yeah,
Um, and these women these days with their sons are so weird.
yeah,
Like they act like they're their husbands, and I'm like, okay, all right, calm down.
yeah. Once it got to a point where I think you were able to eliminate any of the kids
Mhm.
from it, then I was like, oh, it's probably Owen's mom. And I hated saying that, because I mean, she didn't really give. I don't know. Like, I didn't feel like she gave any reason. It was just like,
Mhm.
it made sense if she was trying to be protective of him, or
Mhm.
she was like, what I'm saying, just like you said, being weird. So I
Mhm.
was like, oh, maybe it's him, but maybe it's her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I never felt like it was any of the kids. Like, they kept
No.
trying to steer it that way. I was like, I'm not. I think that would have been exposed like quickly, because kids aren't that smart and they're not that
No.
conniving. They would have messed up, and they would have said something to somebody, and
Mhm.
somebody would have. There's so much cattiness in schools,
Mhm.
that if the perpetrator was in the school, they would have pissed somebody off that they told at some point, and that person would have went and said something.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And that never happened.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, the whole documentary is just, and I've seen some videos. I haven't watched them yet, but I've seen some videos pop up on YouTube about there's stuff that was left out of the documentary and that the story is so much worse. And at some point, I'll eventually
Mm,
watch those because I do know that with the whole point of documentaries is that they're painting a picture for a form of entertainment.
mhm,
So oftentimes things do get changed. They do get, and it also depends on who they're speaking with and when they're speaking to that person, or those people. Like it's people try to paint it their own way. They try to paint it their own way. Um, I will, like I said, I will eventually watch some of the videos to see like what was different. Mainly because I do want to see like what they left out of the documentary.
mm,
Um, but I will say this, I do think it was kind of interesting how they actually interviewed Lauren, um, I think a year ago or something for the documentary. And then like when you see her walking around in like the gray hoodie, that's like her recently.
mm,
Because a lot of people were like, oh, this poor girl, like just, should have just left her alone and all that stuff, because you could tell she's building up trauma. And I'm like, yeah, she hasn't really gotten the chance to process it and that and and all that. I do want to say something though, and it's probably going to be controversial to say this, but um a lot of the comments I see regarding this documentary regarding Lauren, in my opinion, it's upsetting to me because I don't want her, I don't want her to forgive her mom. And I don't foresee her forgiving her mom and having a relationship later in her life. But it's almost like people automatically assume that she's just going to drop her mom 100%. People forget that sometimes when people are in situations, like for example, if somebody's in a relationship with somebody and they get cheated on and they talk about it and they work through it and they continue to be together, especially if they're married and they have kids, people take that, like, they get really harsh about that, like, oh, oh, you're so stupid, why did you stay with that person? I don't want people doing that to Lauren if she does make the decision to continue to talk to her mother in the future. It's her decision ultimately. It has nothing to do with us. Do I think it's the right decision? No. Do I foresee her doing that? No. But I do think people need to keep that in mind when they're speaking about her, that if she does, when she's 25, continue having a relationship with her mom, that's her decision to make. And that's not our place to speak about that decision. I just, it's just something I keep seeing. It's like, oh, when her prefrontal cortex develops, she's going to realize how gaslit and manipulated she's been. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, and that doesn't mean she's going to stop talking to her mom. Some of these people, especially because they are religious, and religious people are very big about forgiveness. So if she still holds on to her religion, she might just forgive her mom and continue to have a relationship with her mom if her mom is still around and in her life. So again, it's like, this girl is a victim through and through, but she also has autonomy. So us as people who have no clue who she is, we don't know her, we're not friends with her, we can watch this and say, yeah, we hope, you could say, I hope when she gets older, she sees how bad this was and she does stay away from her mom. But we can't say for sure that she's going to just drop her mom altogether, because if she doesn't, then people are going to get mad at her. If it comes out years later that she still has a relationship with her mom, like she's on the magazine or something, like People, and they follow up, and people are going to be like, oh my god, I can't believe this kid's still talking to her mom, like, after all it's none of your business. At the end of the day, it's none of your business. Like, and that's just something that has bothered me, because I look at Lauren and I'm like, yes, I see the look in Lauren's eyes, especially when they were talking to her before. She definitely has not really processed this at that point in time. And hopefully when she, with her being in college, with her being away from home, with her meeting other people, hopefully she'll be able to, get help and process what happened to her with her mom, and then go from there. And hopefully she chooses never to speak to her mother again. But at the end of the day, that is her decision, and I have no place to judge.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm gonna say, because I just see a lot of people saying that in videos, like, oh yeah, she's gonna drop her mom. I'm like, you don't know that. And again, they're religious. If she holds on to her faith, she might choose to forgive her mom. Whether you think it's right or not, it's her decision.
Yeah. She just needs to distance herself
Hmm.
for a while, and that also
Yeah.
includes like communication,
Hmm.
to actually process, to get help, because she's gonna be messed up for
Hmm.
a long time unless she gets the proper help. And it's
Absolutely.
just not talks. It talks, and don't just forgive to forgive. Like, when you
Hmm.
forgive, I am all about forgiveness, but you have to understand why you're forgiving, and you're not just forgiving because, oh, it's okay. I mean, you got, bless you if you sneeze.
I was coughing, but
Oh,
thank
okay,
you.
okay, sorry about that. But just to forgive because, oh, the Bible says to forgive. Um, you got to understand why you're forgiving, because
Hmm.
you're just forgiving because you're being told to, or you're
Hmm.
conditioned to. You're not dealing with the issue, and
Hmm.
that's always going to be lingering, and it's going to have an effect on the relationship, on your life. So I think that, obviously, it's her life, it's her mother, it's her family, it's her decision,
Hmm.
but I think for her mental health, to get away, to get the help, to talk to her, to truly
Hmm.
get away, to not talk to them. I know she was like, "Oh, I'm going to always talk to my mom." That's fine, but you need some time alone. You need some time away. You need to.
Hmm.
I mean, you're gonna have. She's good. She's probably gonna have um, some issues with adults, like people older than her, for a while, like
Hmm.
trust issues,
Yeah.
because
Hmm.
the people that you should trust, like the person
Hmm.
that she should trust more than anybody in this world,
Yep. Her
did the
mother.
worst
Yep.
thing to her possible. So
Hmm.
she needs to understand that not all people are like that. That this was an isolated incident. This was not her problem. This was her mom's problem. But she also, like, anybody could tell her that. She has to
Mhm.
come to terms with that. And once she comes to
Absolutely.
terms with that and she's ready, then she could let her mom back in and pick up a new relationship with who she is
Mhm.
at that moment, not who she used to be, and who her
Yeah.
mother is at that moment, not who her mother used to be. As long as her mother
Yeah.
gets help too. Like a mother
Yeah,
can't go in
exactly. Yeah, she can't be the same person
exactly.
that she is right
And then
now.
at that point, they should, yeah,
Mhm.
you should, and she could
Exactly.
forgive her. You could forgive somebody and not
Not
talk to
have a
them.
relationship. Yep.
Yes, you can do that. You could be like,
Yep,
hey,
exactly.
I forgive them.
I
I'm
forgive
just
them,
not
but
right.
I
But
don't need them in my life. You know,
I hope the best for her, and I hope that
I
people don't like
I do too.
shy away from her, and or even exploit her because of
Yeah,
this
no,
comes out. This is the
no.
problem I have with documentaries because this poor girl, she nobody really knew her. Now this thing comes out, and I'm sure if
Everybody's
she has
talking
social media
about
or
her.
whatever it is, like I'm sure it's blowing up
Yeah.
like crazy.
And I just, I wish for her, I wish the best for her all the time. Ever since I watched this documentary, I'm like, I hope she's doing all right. And, like I said, they said she's in college. Hopefully she has a good group of people around her in college right now that are, protecting her in a way, but, they're her friends and she can trust them. And hopefully being out of the small town, because you also have to remember small town mentality. You only know, like, they only have a couple thousand people in the town. Everybody knows everybody. All the kids have been going to school together since they were babies. um now that she's left the town, hopefully now she's getting new experiences, she's meeting new people, and it's going to give her the chance to explore different aspects of herself and figure out who she is. And I think that's how, like, I feel like people, when they're talking about this, should approach things when it comes to her, rather than being like, oh yeah, well, she's gonna, when she hits 25, she's going to immediately realize how traumatized she is. She probably knows how traumatized she is. Right now, she just hasn't had the time to process it. Hopefully she's in therapy, hopefully she's lucky enough to have that opportunity. Like I said, hopefully she has good people around her. That's all you can hope for as a viewer, on the outside looking in. And of course, yeah, don't exploit her. If she does have social media, I don't know, because I don't use social media. So if she does have social media, like, don't go to her social media and blow it up, like, just
Oh
let this
man,
girl live.
let her live.
Let this girl live.
Yeah,
Let her
yeah.
figure
So
it
she's
out.
been through enough, and I'm sure, like,
Mhm,
and hopefully she's smart. Hopefully she just turned that crap off. You know, what I'm saying? Like
mhm.
just
Turn
turn it
off the
off and live your life
comments.
and keep your
Yeah.
circle small. Keep your circle
Mhm.
small, and you know, find your real
Exactly.
friends, find the real people that are gonna be there for you, so that when you do go back and have a strong relationship with your mom, you also have somebody else to lean on outside of that relationship in case things are,
Mhm,
because at some point she's gonna have to sit her mom down if she hasn't done this already and ask why. And they're
mhm,
gonna have to have a real conversation. And she's gonna have to
mhm,
determine whether or not she believes her mother or forgives her mother,
mhm,
or whatever it is. Because
mhm.
I and even with the therapy, if her mom goes to therapy, I'm about 99% sure her mom ain't never gonna she's never gonna be honest
No.
with her about that. So you're not you probably she's probably not gonna get the answer that she's looking for.
Yeah.
She's not gonna be, because her mother doesn't, she's built this thing. Kendra's built
Yeah.
this thing in her head where whatever's in her head is the truth. And then
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what's really
No.
happening.
Exactly, and that's the thing I was gonna say. I was like, I don't even think Kendra knows what the truth is at
Right.
this point
That's
now.
the truth.
I don't think she's told herself so many different versions of the story in her own head to try to justify it. I don't think that Lauren would ever get the answer that she truly deserves. And I don't think that any psychiatrist or therapist would get the answer that they're, a straight answer from Kendra. I mean, it's nice to speculate, and but the thing is, it probably is a myriad of things. It's probably not just one thing or another. It's not as simple as, oh, she saw a teenage boy and she wanted him when he was 13. Like, it's not as simple as that. In a weird way, like, not, I don't wish it was, but in a weird way I wish it was simple. Something that was like, okay, yeah, she wanted the kid. Okay, go to jail for the rest of your life, be on a registry. Although I do believe, because of the fact that she was texting children those things, I do believe she should be on a registry. But
Yeah.
because that is, like we were talking about that the other day, me and one of my friends, and we were like, they put men on the sex offender registry if they pee in public. not saying I want to see a man peeing in public, but you'll go on the sex offender registry for just doing a basic bodily function in public.
Mm.
Whereas she was texting the most explicit things imaginable
That's some
to
rough stuff, man.
children.
Yeah.
Yeah, to children.
And
I
I'm
was
sure
like,
I'm sure they only
whoa.
showed some of this stuff. That I'm sure there is some
Yeah,
other way that she was
I'm sure
texting.
there was more.
Yeah,
I'm like, she should definitely have been put on a sex offender registry, a
yeah,
1000%. It is shocking that she wasn't put on one. And again, I'm not saying that because she wanted the kids. It's just because of what she was saying to the kids.
yeah.
That that's not okay. You can't really go around saying that to children. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I don't care.
she shouldn't. And maybe the reason why that hasn't happened is because they are looking at it the way everybody else. Well, the way we are talking about it as well is
Mhm,
that this wasn't about the kid, even though those things did happen. Like she just sent those text messages.
mhm,
That wasn't the point. The point was that she was um she was creating. So she had deeper issues, and it wasn't about having a
mhm,
relationship with this kid. I mean that, and understanding, like I agree with what you're saying too, but I like the fact that maybe they are looking at it and going, no, this isn't that type of case. Yeah, these things were done and these things were said,
mhm,
and I know there's like a catch 22 as well, like what the what you just described, the situations you
mhm,
just described. But
mhm.
at some point, you got to break those things. Like, hey, man, this guy had to go to the bathroom. He had to take a leak. He's in the back alley. There's no kids around. Just let him go.
Yeah,
What I'm
let
saying?
me go to the
I mean,
bathroom.
I know you shouldn't pee in public, but I'm like, hey, all
Yeah.
right, bro, like,
Mhm,
go, go have it. Get it out. Get it
mhm.
out. The
He's
bathroom's
behind he's
clean.
behind a dumpster. He's as
Yeah,
covered as he possibly
nobody's
could
seeing you
be.
anyway, right? So, I mean, but you know, again,
Yeah.
those are the easy targets. Those are the easy things to go after and go, oh
Mhm,
yeah, we're gonna do this, and then everybody's gonna focus on those things
mhm,
because I'm gonna bring it up to bring it to the movie Superman, okay,
mhm,
and the what did they focus on in that? Oh, his parents said that he should have a harem. The world, the world with anything that has to do with sex or anything like that,
mhm.
it takes over everybody's mind.
It takes over
And then you
everybody's mind.
can't
They
think
don't.
you forget about the actual issues. Like,
Yeah,
oh no,
that's why
sex thing.
that's why I said at the top of this video that everybody seems to be so hyper fixated on the sexual stuff that she said to Owen and Lauren and the other kids that they seem to forget that she threatened the life of her own child. And like
Yes,
to me,
yes,
again, because
yes.
I've watched so much true crime, I'm like, if she hadn't have gotten caught, if they never brought the FBI in, I don't think she would have done anything to Owen. I think she would have harmed Lauren.
She would have
I
had to.
think
She
she
would have
would have
had to
harmed.
see this
She would
through
have harmed.
because in her head that was what she was creating.
I think she would have harmed Lauren. And everyone, every video I've watched so far, it's always like, oh yeah, the sexual stuff she said, the sexual stuff. And
Mm,
I'm like, she threatened the life of her own child. She threatened the life of her own child, not just to other people, but to her child. And
yes,
and then they also talk a lot about the threats of like her harming herself, like Lauren harming herself. And I'm like, yeah, that I understand that that's also all of that. Everything she did was terrible. Everything she did was
yeah.
terrible.
There's
But
nothing good about it.
for me, just as much true crime as I've watched over the decades that I have watched true crime, the texting out of nowhere, both her and her daughter's boyfriend and some of the other friends that they should harm her. You need to watch your back. This, that, and the other. I'm like, this could have ended with Lauren being found in the house.
Yeah.
This could have ended with any number of things. It could have ended with any number of things. So I think that's important to actually look in, like actually pay attention to that to an extent and go, okay, yeah, we're grateful she got caught when she did because this could have been a completely different true crime documentary we were watching,
Yeah.
about a mom who harassed her
I
daughter and
mean,
her friends and then did the worst.
you don't just put this on Lauren. Not put it on Lauren. You don't. She's not the only one that's affected in that way because
Mhm.
any of those kids that were pulled in to speak with the authorities, like you don't know what the cousin, the
Mhm.
cousin. She's like now she doesn't look at police the same way anymore, and
Mhm.
she already seemed like she was somebody that was going through some things,
Mhm.
and you pulled her into this now, like that
Mhm.
poor girl. she looks like she's gonna have some tough, like
Mhm.
hopefully she gets to talk to somebody. But any of those kids, Owen, the girls at the Chloe, I think it was her
Chloe,
name was,
yeah.
like any
Mhm.
of those people, any of those kids that they were bringing in, you just put them through a traumatic time, even though you don't think that they weren't directly involved, like Lauren was. They're
Mhm.
still involved,
Mhm.
and this stuff, like they're gonna have to, like they're gonna think about this when they get older and they find wherever they are in life
Mhm.
and they're talking to somebody. It's gonna come back to that moment.
Mhm.
It's gonna come back to that moment, to those moments when they were like, "Oh, this was. Oh, I didn't realize this affected me this much. I didn't realize." Those
Mhm.
are the ones that are gonna have that lingering, like that later effect when they
Mhm.
realize, "Oh man, like I didn't realize that I was, that I was traumatized by that situation, or
Mhm.
I was, um, everybody was looking at me as a bully, and I wasn't,
Yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
Chloe's parents were pretty straightforward about how they felt about everybody. That
yeah, yeah,
even the people that were involved in the case, like the police officer, the mom went off at the end and was just like, you dragged my daughter through,
yes,
hell and back. Basically, you were so convinced it was her, and you
right.
ruined her life.
Yes,
You
they're
know.
interrogating kids, and they have to go through something that nobody should ever have to go through, and they're doing it at a young age, right? Like everybody wants to focus on the sexual part of those things, which yes, I understand that. These are things that ruin children's lives too.
Mhm.
These are just as important. These are things that are shaping their lives, and
Mhm.
it's going to make them become who they become. Now, I'm not saying that
Right.
they're all going to become like, they're going to have problems, but you're opening that door for it to happen now.
Mhm.
Like you're opening that door. Not only that, but and yeah, again, we love this because we love the entertainment.
Mhm.
We People are watching this documentary, right?
Mhm.
These kids are known now.
Mhm.
They we do not live in a world where you can't find people. Like
Mhm.
they are known everywhere they go. Somebody's gonna know who they are. They are now somewhat celebrities.
Yeah.
Wanting to be, they don't want to be celebrities. They are celebrities. They are, they go to college. They get into the sports team, sororities, anything like that. They go like, oh hey, I saw the documentary. I saw it. And whether that person is telling them one thing or not, that in the back of their mind, they're gonna be like, oh Chloe, yeah, we gotta watch
Mhm.
her. Because they painted a bad picture about that girl the whole time.
Did. They
The
did.
whole time.
Again,
Yeah, she wasn't
after that,
guilty of this, but they painted a bad picture of that
they
poor girl.
painted a really bad picture. Yeah, they did.
So I'm glad that she was absolved of this situation,
Mhm.
but you made her look like she was this like conniving, young girl trying to get
Manipulative.
somebody
Yeah.
else's boyfriend. Like, and
Yep.
you didn't clear that up. So that
Mhm.
poor that's gonna stick with her for the rest of her life. Everybody that looks at her and be like, "Oh yeah, you gotta watch out for Chloe, man. Like she's,
Yeah.
she don't like you.
She's gonna
She's
steal your boyfriend,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah."
she didn't
So
do that.
there's so many people, like Owen, forget it, man. Like, they and you see how they ruined his situation with the girl and the mom and all that stuff. Like, even
Mhm.
though people know where it came from now, anybody who gets involved with them are still gonna think that at any time something like this could pop up
Mhm.
because that's how people think.
Oddly enough, and obviously not to trivialize the entire case that happened. Oddly enough, this reminds me a lot of Scream 2, where you kind of see Sydney Prescott dealing with the aftermath of the
Hmm.
Ghostface killings
Hmm.
and how she was getting the prank calls with people pretending to be Ghostface, and people were teasing her and tormenting her, and that was like the 90s, late,
Yeah,
that was the 90s that they were making that. Today in the world of social media, where you can make memes, and there's literally so much detachment from the things that people consume.
yeah.
There's so much detachment from it, that they forget that these are real people. And
Hmm.
then even when they see them, or if they see, if they happen to be somewhere and see Lauren, they're gonna see her and be like, oh yeah, it's that girl from unknown number, I'm gonna go and talk to her and bother
Right.
her and all that stuff. Or like you said, they look into their lives, they try to find out where they live, they try to find out, because people just have no boundaries, and they also have no respect for, you know what happens. And in a weird way, and I think this is a lot of the reason why I've avoided talking about true crime situations in the past, because I feel like as much as I love true crime, I do feel like it cultivates that environment where it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Mhm.
Um, I think true crime is incredibly important. I think it's important to people to know how criminals operate,
Mhm.
and not just people who are going to be going into some sort of field where they deal with criminals. Everybody, so you know what signs to look for, and you know how to approach certain situations. I think it's also very important to use these cases, talk about true crime to highlight cases that may be going on in someone's life and they don't even know. Like somebody else could be going through something similar to this, like a
Mhm.
catfishing situation, and it's a family member or a friend that's trying to, I mean, hell, catfishing situations of this magnitude. I've never experienced one of this magnitude, but I mean, I've seen people when I was in high school. I've seen people do these horrible, horrible catfishing things. Someone that I was dating in high school, one of my friends was trying to break us up, and she had another friend create a profile and hit on my partner and like try to get them to cheat on me. And I'm like, so people do this type of stuff. It's not within a vacuum.
Yeah.
It's not within a vacuum at all. And it's important to know the signs to look for. Yes, I haven't seen it on this magnitude before, but even still, catfishing is catfishing. If somebody wants to be cruel to you and create a profile where they're bullying you, which I've seen stories about that, where somebody's friends with somebody, but they actually really don't like them. And so they create a profile and they start bullying this person. And then they're like, oh, what do you mean you're getting all these weird messages saying that you should go jump off a bridge? And then it's actually them saying that. So true crime is important for reasons like that. And even with things like scams, the I can't remember her name, Elizabeth Holmes, the lady that created that thing where you're supposed to find out the diseases and what you could do by just like one drop of blood, and
Oh yeah, I didn't watch that one yet, but yeah.
it was I've seen a couple of different documentaries about that one. But things like that, even scams, even cults, like even cults and everything like that type of stuff, it's important to know
Mhm.
the signs to look for. But
Yeah.
I also think that it cultivates this part of it feeds this part of our society that really really thrives off of um tragedy. That's always been a thing. Like people, it's not just because of social media. It's always been a thing. People love, I mean, they say it's like, it's like a train wreck. You can't look away. You see a massive wreck and your head just immediately snaps over to see what would happen. um People love tragedy. People love to see that, but some people love it in the wrong way and they take it to an extreme, you
Mhm.
know um and I just think personally it's like that's the reason. Like, for me, I was like, I don't know if I ever want to cover any true crime stuff because I don't want to cultivate that. Like, I want to talk about this stuff because it's fascinating to me and it's interesting, but I don't want to cultivate that environment and like bring people in that, aren't going to take it seriously. So I guess if anybody's watching this, I just hope you're taking it seriously. That these are real people. This is their real lives, real things happening to, actual people. Don't harass anybody. If you see them on social media, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Let them live their lives. Even Kendra, let Kendra live her life. She's gonna have to figure things out and let them deal with that. It's nothing. We don't have to step in. We don't have to be heroes every
Mhm.
single time. And I know the internet's done some good things in the past. I mean, that "Don't F with Cats" documentary. If it wasn't for the internet, they wouldn't have found that guy after he killed that other guy. They wouldn't have found him because of all the horrible things he was doing to cats. When I really hope that man is suffering wherever he is.
Yeah.
Touch cats. Don't touch cats. Leave cats alone.
No.
um,
Yeah,
but
the thing is people are gonna want their 15 minutes of fame or
mhm,
just to be near somebody who's been like, oh,
mhm,
oh, you're on a documentary or you're in the news and
mhm,
oh, I know them or I've talked to them or I've messaged them and like so
mhm,
this world has become extremely small because of social media. It's
mhm,
become extremely small where you can't turn it off.
Yeah.
The sad part about this, and again, I come from a time before this, before social media. Like my schooling was before social media, way before. Um, and I was bullied in school. But when I got home, that was my safe home. That was my safe place.
Mhm.
You couldn't get me there.
Mhm.
Social media took that all away.
It
It
takes that
took that
away.
all
Yeah.
away. And I couldn't be a kid today. Um, going to school, and I would literally, I mean, I wouldn't have social media. I don't have it now, but I wouldn't, and that's for that reason because I
Mhm.
don't want to, be, like feel inadequate
Mhm.
24
You
hours a
don't.
day.
Yeah,
I don't
you don't
want,
want people to have that much access to you
yeah,
either.
yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, you're,
it's like
it's,
I feel like with social media, it's like there's great things about it and then there's bad things about it, especially since the pandemic. I feel like people use social media too much as a diary now and they talk about stuff that I'm like, I don't need to know this about you. I don't even know you. You know,
yeah, there's
like
definitely benefits from it. And when social media first, like, look, just like anything else in this world, man, you could use it for good, you could use it for bad. And but unfortunately, I think we're seeing our world now where everybody's mental health is probably at its worst. At least I feel it is. And it's funny
yeah.
because we talk about it more now than we ever
Mhm.
did. And there's more help out there. But it's to me, I feel like it's worse. Everybody's always at the edge. Why do
Mhm.
you think that is? Because you can't turn this crap off. It's always
Mhm.
there. Like if it, most people have social media accounts and their phone is dinging all the time, and they're constantly either looking at somebody living a better life than them, which they're not. They're just putting it there, making it look like, or they're being tormented in some sort of way. Maybe not like this, or maybe it's more like, oh yeah, I just broke up with somebody. I still look at their page. I see that they moved
Mhm.
on. This is killing me. I can't move on myself.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like we don't let go of stuff. That's why, like, I
Or
could never,
or
never never do this if
or
I
like
was
the
in
reason
school.
why or the reason why I'm not on social media, it's too much of the theatrical politics. And I don't want to get into the politics too much, but it's like I go on social media and it's like people calling each other out for not posting about something, or people calling each other somebody out for not standing up for something. And I can't imagine being a child and you're online and you're seeing these posts and you don't know anything about the world really yet. You have a very limited worldview. And I'm not saying that children should not learn about things that happen. If they want to learn,
That's
of
not the
course,
place to do it.
you know,
Social media
but
is not the
but to
place to
have
do
but to have
it.
people on Twitter, going like, oh, if you don't, I see nobody's talking about this and nobody's talking about that. And that's like for me, like, because when I was really into using social media, I always tried to curate my social media to the things I enjoyed.
Mhm.
So watching like things about horror, things about music, things about that. And then anytime the other stuff started seeping in, I was just like, not interested, not
Yeah,
interested.
it
Let's
keeps
just
trying to
push
it
this
keeps trying to pop up every now and then. I'm just like block or not interested. Like I
thing.
don't want to see. Like I know the world
Yeah.
sucks. Like
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
want this to be my safe space. I want this to be things that I enjoy watching. Like
Mhm.
I could turn on the news or I could walk outside and I know the world sucks.
I could literally pull up Google to go type something in, and I'll see immediately like a Google search for something that's trending, and it's like, oh, the
Right,
world's on fire.
right,
Okay,
exactly.
cool,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
cool.
So it's
You know,
always
it's
there.
always there,
Yeah.
and
No, you don't
yeah,
need to be
it's so
reminded.
yeah, it's always there. And again, that's another factor of it too, is that you're exposed to way too much, and it's not just people living false lives or people you don't associate with anymore. Those things hurt, but it's also every single bad thing in the world. You're also exposed to other people's paranoia and fear. A great example of this was last year when we had those two back-to-back hurricanes. I literally had to deactivate my social media because people were acting like it was the end of the world. And don't get me wrong, those hurricanes were bad. But I'm reading this, and because of like you guys, where you guys live, I'm freaking out because I'm like, you guys are there. And then everyone's like, oh, this whole side of the state's going to be gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, So I'm freaking out because I'm thinking about my family, and I'm like, guys, are you okay? Like, do you want to leave? Do you want to come here? You want to like, what do you want to do? And it's, you get that paranoia. Oh, Florida's going to be wiped off the map. This is going to be wiped off the map. And I'm like, and yes, I'm not sitting here trivializing what happened with those hurricanes. I know that Tennessee, North Carolina, they all got something that they've never experienced before in their lives, and it was devastating. I know a lot of people who lost things during that. Those, some of my friends within like the K-pop community live in those areas, and they lost everything. So I understand. I also have friends who were affected by Milton, who lost everything in Milton. I understand all of that, but it's the paranoia that gets me during those times. That's why I have to get away from social media. It's as people are watching it, oh, this is going to be the deadliest storm we've ever had. This is going to be I mean, every storm is going to be the deadliest storm we've ever had.
No,
Every storm is going to be
it's
the end
constantly
of the world.
creating
It's the
fear.
world ending.
It's
And
constantly. It's funny. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, you're okay.
It's amazing if people actually were kind, and
Mhm,
there were more people on social media like with with good messages. And I don't mean, yeah, I know that there are motivational things out there, but those things are hidden. They're not in your
mhm,
face all the time. But imagine if everybody was like, because I will tell you something. Like I went to the store the other day, and most of the time I'm feeling pretty crappy. I went to the store the other day. Well, no, I was on my way to the store, and I turned down the road, and there was a turtle walking across. So I stopped my car, I got out, took the turtle across the street. If
yeah.
somebody saw me doing that, like further down, I jumped back in my car, drove, and as I was at the stop sign, the person was like, hey, how you doing today? Like really nice, like they
Mhm,
just saying they must have saw me do that, and it was weird because I had my
mhm,
window open. I was like, hi, like I don't know you, but like, oh hi. I
mhm,
was like, and then I was in the store, and somebody did the same thing to me. They're like, "Hey, how you doing today?" It's amazing how good that makes you feel
mhm,
when somebody says hello to you, looks you in the eyes, and says, "How are you today?" And you don't know them.
mhm.
Like I was like, "Wow, I
Yeah,
actually feel good about myself." Like I walked out in the
yeah.
store going, "It's that little bit that made you feel good. That made me
Mhm.
feel good." Like imagine if we fed that all the time
I,
to this world.
I'm not even gonna lie. I feel good when people say excuse me when they're trying to walk past
Yes,
me. I mean,
yes.
I say it a lot when I go to the theme parks. I'm like, at least this person said excuse me,
There was a
because
lot of
people
that
just
this year, at least for me. A lot of people said,
Mhm.
"Excuse me," a lot
Yeah,
more.
no,
Um,
the
yeah.
last couple well, yesterday wasn't too bad, but the last couple of times I went to Halloween Horror Nights, it's been that's because there's a lot more kids that have been out lately, and they just push past you because they're in their own little world. They're the
Yeah.
main characters of their story. They don't even see you. You're an NPC to them.
Yeah, right.
Um, you know, and like that, even that when someone's just like, oh, excuse me, like, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I move out the
Yeah.
way because at least you're acknowledging, hey, I'm trying to go past you. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in your way. I will move. When people just mow me down, I've gotten to the point now where I'm just like, okay, yeah, you don't see me. There's nobody here. Cool. Like there's nobody here. And it's stuff like that. Like, it's like, you don't have to say hi, hi to me. Like, if you do, that's great. But it's like when someone just acknowledges, hey, what I'm doing might kind of be rude. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
push past you, but I'm gonna say, oh, excuse me, like, excuse me. These people just mow you down like you don't exist. And it's not even because I feel like, oh, people should acknowledge my existence. I just feel like it's so rude and disrespectful
Mhm.
to treat people like that. And it's just a reflection of how people are online.
Yeah.
Like it's all
They're
about them.
worse
They're the
online
only people. Yeah,
because they can hide.
exactly. It's like it's all about them. They're the only people that matter. They're the only people that exist, and everybody else can just like go wherever they want to go. Their opinion is law. Their feelings are facts, and all of that stuff. I like I said, I can't stand it. So when I encounter people like that in real life, especially the young kids, like these, I hate to say it, but these kids, they really need to be socialized. They need to be socialized.
You sound like me. You definitely have reached an age now because like these kids.
No, I mean, the last time I went to Halloween Horror Nights, and I wasn't the only one because the subreddit was complaining about it a lot. The last time I went to Halloween Horror Nights, it was just like, why don't these kids have chaperones? Why
Oh,
is
you
there
know
a group
how I
of,
feel, but yeah.
yeah, there's a group of 30, there's a group of 30 teenagers, and they're just mowing you down. There's, stopping in front of you to have a whole conversation, a group of them. And it's just like, do you not realize that there's other people around you? You're not the only person in the park. I was so happy because there was two girls filming a TikTok in one of the scare zones. And while they were trying to set up this perfect TikTok, the scare actor came and scared the crap out of them, and they ended up going running. And I was like, yeah, don't do that. You literally have a whole pathway that people are walking that you're stopping so you can film a whole TikTok. And nope, the scare actor came and went up behind them and growled, and the two girls took off running. And I was like, good, good. And
Yeah,
I get it. People want to make their memories. I have no
I
problem with
don't.
people stopping and taking pictures and videos, but like y'all really need to realize that like you don't need to make like a dramatic staged TikTok. Like you just don't.
Yeah.
Like it's better when it's more candid or whatever. Like if you're walking around and you're filming just while you're walking and you have a moment with a scare actor, that's better than like standing there and like having some sort of music playing and you're doing like a pose and then you walk towards the camera. Like, no, why are you doing that? This is Halloween Horror Nights. You're supposed to be running around and getting scared, not strutting like you're on the runway.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't. I'm an old man now, so those I definitely am not into TikTok or anything. I've never had TikTok, um, but um, I don't see the entertainment in it. I
Hmm.
I I've seen, because the things pop up, especially in this documentary, because we really got off topic. I mean, even though I know
Hmm.
we were kind of, but
Yeah.
even the documentary, like watching the TikTok, I'm like, you guys look stupid. I'm sorry. I know that's the old fart in me talking.
Yeah.
You look stupid. Okay, I'm sorry, but I have a feeling in 20, 30 years when you look back at that, you're gonna be like, what the heck were we thinking?
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
really, really do. So, I mean, we all do that as kids. Like,
I mean, I thought the same thing. I'm like, listen, bless your hearts with everything that y'all are going through, but don't show me these TikToks ever
yeah,
again.
y'all look ridiculous. Like,
Don't show
you
me
know,
these TikToks again. Like, I hate to say that, but it's like, I get it. You're just kids having fun. I get
yeah,
it. But
but that's how you're
and
having fun. Like, I mean, again, different
different
generations. So
generation.
I'm trying
Yeah.
not to like, I'm sure that there are things that I was doing when I was younger that our parents were like, "What the heck is wrong with these stupid kids?"
Yeah, it's like one of those things. It always goes around in circles and in cycles. And I have to remind myself of that is that it always
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
around in
yeah.
circles and in cycles, even though I still don't like it. But like,
It's just annoying.
I still just shake my head, and it's like, and the thing is, like, I do have TikTok. I really just I barely use it. I only have it because people will send me videos, and a lot of the times they're sending me
There
videos
are
of
some
really fun
funny
stuff,
things and there are some
um, or
entertaining things.
a lot of animal videos.
Yeah, yeah. Those
Like a
they're
lot of
funny, there's
animal videos.
entertaining. Yes, I've seen because you guys have sent me
Mhm.
some stuff and
Mhm.
I laughed at them and
Yeah.
yes, there's a reason
Mhm.
for some of them and I understand that, but some of these things that they're like,
Mhm.
there's no need for it. Like, please go out there and it's funny because they live in a small town, man. They have more. It seemed like they have more of a life than I ever had. You know, yeah.
They just went somewhere and filmed
They
TikToks.
had so much more fun. And now about the TikToks, but other things like they got to enjoy. They seem they got to enjoy like they were involved in community. There's so many
Mhm.
good things that that this get back to. I know we got. I mean, it's been over an hour we've been talking. So many good things about this town and small towns that Kendra ruined for this town because of her what issues that she's dealing with.
Yeah.
Because that's a tight knit, close town that we
Mhm.
look. I love. You know me. I love my Hallmark movies, right?
Yeah.
I love my Hallmark movies. I love the small town atmosphere that these movies they always have, and I'm like, man, I would love to
Mhm.
live there. And everybody's involved in the community, and they have this and they have that going on, and they know this person, know that person, and because we don't have that anymore,
Mhm.
everybody is going in their own different directions. And when you walk outside and you see somebody, people don't want to, and your neighbors, nobody wants to actually wave, smile, and say hello. They just,
Mhm.
most of the people, there's a couple people out here that will say, oh, good morning, or whatever, when they do see me, or when they're driving by, passing by, they'll wave. There are, those people are my age or older.
Mhm.
They're not the young one. The young ones is kind of like they drive around with with the music blasting. I'm like, yeah, I know. I was a kid too. We used to have our music blasting, but they drive around. They act like they don't see you.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's obnoxious. that I and I live in a small town. Not as small
Mhm.
as that, but I live in a small town, right? Like
Exactly.
we should really be like a lot closer here than we are. You know what I'm saying? I go to the store. I see a lot of the same people all the time. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like I see the same people. I'm not just talking about people who work there. I'm talking about people who are shopping. I see a lot of the same people
Mm-hmm.
all the time. I go to the gas station, I see the same people. I go into a restaurant, I see people that I know that,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
You don't know your neighbor. You don't know your neighbors anymore.
yeah,
Because
they had the
everything.
perfect thing, and then the kids will grow up and they will go and they will experience life somewhere else, but they will always be able to come back to this
Mm-hmm.
wonderful small town where if they wanted to raise their family there, safe,
Mm-hmm.
and in a good, loving environment, they had that opportunity. But I have a feeling I would love to know how the town is doing now, after this whole situation, because it just seems
Mm-hmm.
like there's a black cloud over that town now.
Yeah.
They're probably more of like a tourist attraction.
Oh my god.
People are gonna want to drive through that town just to see where. Oh wow, yeah, like that's the school. That's the one school where they all go.
That's so bad. Oh my
That's the
goodness.
house.
Leave these people alone. Leave them
That's
alone.
what they're. That's what they're
Unless
gonna do.
unless the town decides to profit off of it, then have at it. Some towns do. Sometimes the towns are like, hey, we want to profit off the horrible crimes that happened here.
Yeah.
Go go for
Put
it.
it on the billboard.
Um
Home of unknown number, whatever.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
Yes.
basically to wrap this up about the unknown number, this past month has been a really rough month for women named Kendra. We had the woman who believed her psychiatrist was in love with her and called him a groomer, and it was named Kendra, and now this Kendra. So I'm really sorry if anybody's name out there is Kendra. You probably had a really rough time this month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really rough time this month.
Well,
Kendra's need somebody
self-inflicted.
to make them look good. Huh?
Self-inflicted though.
Yeah. Self-inflicted for both of them, yes.
Self-inflicted.
For
Yes.
both of them. So hopefully you guys can be good Kendras and do well.
The new
But
Karen.
yeah, no. No, it's a different breed of Karen.
Different breed.
Completely different
It's
breed
an
of Karen.
evolution.
There's Karen and then there's Kendra.
Pokemon. You throw
Oh,
the ball, it turns into a Kendra
oh
later.
no. Oh no. No, I don't want to see what the third evolution is. I don't want to see what the final evolution is. It's probably, oh god, it's probably even worse. But yeah, no, this documentary was very fascinating. It was upsetting in like a lot of ways, and I just hope that Lauren, her father, and all the other kids that were involved in this are, getting. I hope they find peace, over time, and I hope Kendra uses her time that she's not in prison now to get help. And
Yeah.
if she doesn't, then she needs to go back to jail.
Yes, she needs to make sure she's getting help, and Lauren needs to distance herself from. I'm not saying she doesn't have to talk to her.
Mhm.
On the phone, text or whatever. Text. Last thing you want to do is but
No, she would
talk,
not be allowed to text me.
talk, talk to her on the phone, and just see how she's doing and keep in touch. Of course, as your mother, so yeah, I
Mhm.
understand that. Even if you're angry at them or you're not sure how you feel yet, you still want to hear from them. I mean, that's your mom. So,
Yep.
but yeah, get your help, get your head straight,
Mhm.
and then when you're ready to go back to that, to let your mother back in fully, then do so. But don't do it yet. Don't do it because you feel like you have to, because you know that's how you grew up.
Yeah,
That's not
exactly.
the right answer. that's
No, definitely not the right answer.
not the
No.
right answer. Don't do it because you feel like you have to, because that was how you were raised. No, get your help, because you're
Yeah,
not helping them.
exactly. All right. I think it's time we wrap this up. We got off on a tangent there, but that's okay. If you've watched this documentary, let us know what you think of this. Like if you have the same theories or the same thoughts or the same feelings about this. Um, Definitely leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. I saw something about like there's a thing now called hype points that they allow so that you can give channels under, I think it's like 50,000 subs, like more hype. It pushes them more in the algorithm. Definitely do that if you can, if you're able to, and there's no pressure for that. Um, Probably will be back soon with more reviews. I've got some stuff that I'm working on my own that I'm going to be putting out. And yeah, we're getting into October. So there's going to be some spooky movies coming out soon. I know the Black Phone 2 is coming out soon. Shelby Oaks is coming out soon, which I really do want to explore that because that's a YouTube project turned film. So, I definitely want to explore that. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. And I will see you all next time with another creepy critique.